Now, have you heard of Lindz West? Well, Lindz West is a unique individual who, with his musical group, intends to bring the beautiful good news of Jesus Christ to young people who may be interested in modern music. But he cleverly fuses the two cultures together to form a culture in which Christians who are young can love God and also love their culture and love being who they are. So here we have the interview. You listened to when you were growing up. Safely suggest you like hip hop, R&B.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, absolutely. I mean, I was the blonde-haired white kid that was a DJ at school that used to listen to NWA.
Oh wow! Oh
And
wow! That is
yeah,
cool.
exactly. So, and this was when I was working out what I really liked, and then I realised actually this is no good for my soul. So I listened to like LL Cool J, NWA, Ice T, Ice Cube, all that kind of stuff, and it wasn't the lyrics that particularly got me. It was just the way that they flowed words and meter stuff, and then obviously with the onset of grime and all that kind, my sort of late teens, early 20s, Dizzy Rascal came on the scene, and all these guys, and it's more the way that they kind of influenced music and the way that they used it for their message, pretty much like what Stormzy's doing now.
Yeah.
He's saying stuff. There is a message to what he's saying, whether we agree with his language or not, in some senses. But at the same time, the message he's saying I think he's brilliant, and he's definitely connecting with people. And I just thought, actually, when I was listening to music, the message, I didn't really listen to the message that was going on. Some of them were so negative and all that kind of business. But then I just thought, well, let's use music in a positive way. If that's viewed as negative, let's put this into positive and let's do something that's just uplifting. So any kind of MC, any kind of like DJ stuff I was into. So even like Calvin Harris now, right the way through, I'll listen to pretty much anything and get bounced into it and get some influences that way.
And I think you mentioned Stormzy, and I think there was the performance that he did on Glastonbury that was so groundbreaking and stuff. Now, do you get like Christians coming up to you and being like, "Oh, well, you shouldn't listen to this, and you shouldn't"? What do you tend to say to those sort of people?
No, I mean, I've heard people kind of say, "Oh, what kind of stuff do you listen to?" And I'm like, "Well, I listen to a broad spectrum of it." And this morning I had Elevation Worship on in my car as loud as I could get it and sang along to it because I love worship. And then 2 seconds later, I've got Radio 1 and it's playing Post Malone. And I just think, that the opening my mind up to understanding what music is about and using it as a vehicle to reach people. That's the way that I kind of convey it to people and say, actually, I'm not going to, in school when we're talking to young year 10s and stuff, and they pipe up and they say, what's the difference between your music and others? And I'm like, look, what you won't hear is, F-bombs and silly things like that, and I won't talk about girls and I won't talk about other people's mums and gangs and all that kind of stuff. But what we will do is we'll leave a message in your mouth, a taste in your mouth, so you kind of get that there's more to life than this, and there's a purpose, and there's a reason, and, it's really uplifting, it's real party anthems, and it's just to break the stereotype of what it is to believe in something rather than fall for everything that's out there.
Now, do you have anything to conclude with? A Bible verse, prayer, anything of that sort?
Right. Hebrews 12.
Hebrews 12.
Run this race with perseverance as marked out for you. Keep your eye. Let's throw off the sin that so easily entangles. And keep your eye on Jesus, the author and perfecter of your faith. That, to me, is just my life's Bible verse. Run the race, get the most out of it, squeeze the juice out of it, but don't take your eyes off the prize.
Excellent. That's good.
Keep your eyes on Jesus. And the most important bit about that is that when you keep your eyes on Jesus, because of what he did on the cross, he gives you the ability to throw off the sin that so easily entangles.
Amen.
And that to me is like the gospel in one go. Squeeze the juice out of life, love it. Do what God's called you to do. Be the best version of you can be.
Yeah.
Look at Jesus, keep your eyes on it, and know that he's the one that's got rid of the sin.
Yeah.
And then thank him for it, live like you mean it, and live your best life.
Thank you so much for joining us on today's program. Now, you can tweet us at GMBA Radio, and you can also send us an email should you wish to talk more about what we've talked about today's program. Remember, we need to keep these conversations alive, and also we would love to hear your opinion. So please reach out and talk to us more about your stories and experiences. So take care and God bless.